Good evening, everyone. This is Edge from Edge Plays. With me this evening is Strife.
I live here now.
You do live here. Do you know what? It should have been called Edge Plays. You should just call it Two Blokes Play at this point. Because
Well, you've done. To be fair, you have done the little logo, and you did my beard justice. I'm
I
proud of
did
you.
do
Proud of
justice,
you.
in fairness, yeah. So this is going to be a bit of a different Edge cast this week, because we're going to be talking about Wild Hearts. I don't do reviews very often or thoughts on this because I don't think I
But I
have the
feel like this
vocabulary.
one was needed.
I think so because by the way, guys, in the background of this podcast, you will see video of the game that I've recorded with Strife. At the same token, as well, for spoilers, I've only recorded so far in because there'll be monsters and content that people may want to see for the first time. So for spoilers, being very careful because
To be fair, I think everything we fought so far, and everything that you've seen, even if the groundbreaker thing is in it, you see that at the very start of the game. I don't think anything there that we have fought so far is something that you wouldn't have seen like in release trailers or at the very start of the game anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun experience having for you and me. We've had that wonder again of fighting new monsters compared to like Monster Hunter World and Rise, where we recognize a lot of the monsters as variations. So this one's been kind of for us, like
A steep learning curve
and
on
how.
some of them.
And I just felt with this one, to give everyone else a fair shot, I would hate to take that opportunity away from them. So if people want to see us fight some of the more harder monsters, please comment below, because there are some harder monsters in this game, and we have sworn like Irishmen.
I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the monsters we have fought, we have made them probably look harder than they actually are.
Yeah, whatever. This game is I guess really like a Monster Hunter clone-ish, as it were, but it does enough to be a bit different. It's developed by Omega Force and published by EA, so as part of EA original games. And I, for one, at first did not want to play it because
I also was very skeptical with EA as well, but do you know what? After like some of the other things that have been done recently, I mean, we'll get into it more in a minute, but I'm very impressed with it.
I am as well. The first thing I kind of was shocked by when you open up the game and start playing it is just the differences between Monster Hunter. Well, we're going to probably compare this quite a bit to Rise and World, because I think a lot of people understandably are going to be comparing it to those games at the moment, and they're going to want to know, is it worth playing? Short answer at the moment is I'd say yes. The first difference that I really was impressed by was just the level of maneuverability in terms of exploring and climbing and just jumping around. There's been many a time I was traversing through mountaintops and over rooftops, and I completely forgot that I was playing any other game. It was just so crazy how easy it was to just climb and scramble around. If you look at Rise and World, with World, you can run up walls and stuff, but
Yeah, to be fair, it is a closer akin to Rise in that respect.
Rise has it in spades with the bugs, being able to just kind of go all over the place. But the Karakuri, which is like the main tool you use, has a kind of a new kind of feeling to it, which I think is it's nuts. Because when I first saw the Karakuri, I was like, in the trailers, I was like, yeah, no, this is not something I'm interested in. But then when you kind of actually get to use it, like the flying one, where you can kind of have the helicopter blade or the zip lines, and this is something different. Like in Monster Hunter Rise and World, everything is static. You can unlock camps, and those camps are there you can teleport to get close to monsters and so forth. And when you die, you just teleport right back to it. But the first difference is your camps you can place
You
wherever
can
you want.
place your camp wherever you like. And the thing that I like about it is Okay, so yeah, you could place it wherever you like. You do get punished a little bit for placing it outside of where they recommend you doing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are expected to, because each map has your base camp and one additional camp. But there's actually a trophy for putting 4 camps down. So you are expected to do, but you will only get. You are punished by the resources being higher if it's not in a specified area.
Mm. But the crazy thing as well is it remembers as well where you put your camps down and what you put in those camps. And like even like the zip lines and like any kind of traversing like the fans and stuff like that, it remembers where they all are. So you can leave, you can go to another area, come back, and all that stuff is still there, which is crazy.
Unless your Karakuri gets trampled by a boar.
Yeah, that too.
There is that.
But it means then that as time goes on, you can then remove a Karakuri and put another one somewhere else. So you're basically streamlining your own personal world to how you want to traverse quite quickly, which I think is,
Well,
is quite nice.
it's like I said with mine. Now I have literally just started creating like, because the food in itself, the actual how you craft food, is a whole subject by itself.
Mm.
And I've literally just dedicated a whole area of base camp to creating food.
Well, yeah, your camp with how your camps can be customized in there's 5 zones. I'm finished. There's 5 zones here. Zone 1, you can have it.
Yes, we've only unlocked 4.
The first zone, you could literally have a camp dedicated to nothing but food, to generating food, so you can get health buffs, and like everything else on that. You can have another camp that's just everything about collecting materials. So then, when you're making your armors and weapons, you've always got a steady supply coming in, which is fantastic. It's crazy what you can do in terms of customizing, and I'm already kind of planning out what I want to do in endgame when it comes to my camps, and you're still limited slightly by having to explore and find these dragon veins to increase the amount of Karakuri you can put down. So there's a lot of replayability in terms of exploration and finding bits and pieces to kind of upgrade your gear, and everything you're collecting has a point to it, which is quite nice. Um, Heck, even you find these little kind of Karakuri little balls, which I guess is kind of like the weapon shards you can get, or like the swords in Rise. When you find them, you get collect cogs, which can upgrade your little Palico one in single player, but it also increases the amount of healing potions you can carry, which is crazy. So everything you do has some kind of benefit. The only problem I have with it is it doesn't explain everything very well.
It's like I mentioned to you, it is very Elden Ring in that respect. I mean, Elden Ring itself, I know obviously this has nothing to do about that with the game we're actually going about today, but Elden Ring is very much community driven. People will find it out and people will put it online. You will find out what other people have found out. And I think that is one of those things. That's sort of what they've gone for with this game. They wanted to build that community up early on before they potentially look to make more games. And it is to build that community up that help people out.
Yeah, no, totally. It once you understand it, it makes things a heck of a lot easier. But there's been times where we were kind of a bit unsure of what we were doing, and then as time went on, it got. I mean, they have. I mean, I'm being a bit unfair. There are tutorials. There are things to kind of guide you, and you learn.
It
And
doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you everything. No, it doesn't even tell you everything as such with your weapon.
I
It doesn't
suppose,
give you all the combos. Some of them you have to sort of figure out as you go.
but the weapons feel easier to use, I would say, than some of the Monster Hunter weapons. And I think that's on purpose, so that people can kind of feel more comfortable experimenting. Like the gun that I had, yeah, it took me a while to get used to it, but
Yeah.
now I'm shooting like the laser charge weapon all the time. I mean, I love the gun, and you know me in Monster Hunter, I usually like bow gun. But each of the weapons feels easy enough to kind of pick up and learn after a bit of practice, which is quite nice. It's just kind of learning the mechanic and the gimmick, and then kind of getting into that kind of routine.
Do you know what I think it is in comparison to Monster Hunter?
Mm.
The weapons, the gameplay, everything is faster.
The monsters
I
do seem
feel
to die
like
a bit quicker, actually, in fairness.
I feel they die a bit quicker, yeah, but I feel like some of the things they do in comparison to like Monster Hunter are a bit quicker. Um, it's just, I mean, like claw blade, for argument's sake, you need to place 3 crates down, jump up, stab the monster, dive around it a bit. As soon as you do your dive bomb attack, you are down and you are placing another 3 crates to jump back up onto that monster. It's very fast paced, and all of your weapons sort of seamlessly go in line with the katakuri that you can make.
Yeah.
Like, I can see you being in a distance, shoving down repeater crossbows when you unlock them.
I know, yeah. I want to unlock that so badly. I want
When you
that
unlock them.
ability.
We can grab that for you. It shouldn't take us too long. It's only on one of the boss fights. We'll just get it enraged and run around it for a bit until you get the flash of
I
inspiration.
mean, going back to Karakuri, you can create So there's probably an explanation here. So there's only this will kind of make sense. Unlike in Monster Hunter, where you have a shield and you can block, or you have like
I
a
miss
class.
my shield.
Yeah.
I miss my shield.
The Karakuri seem to fill in those roles. So, for example, if I'm fighting the pig monster and it's charging at me, I can place down a wall in front of me and it blocks the attack. Other attacks other kimono might do. So, as long as you're quick enough, you can place down 6 blocks and it creates a shield to block most attacks. You can run up the wall and stand on top of it and shoot from a distance if need be. You can create a mallet, but these are all unlocked depending upon fighting certain kimono and then the situation arising where you can create it. So, for example, I learned how to make healing mist for myself when fighting a certain monster, which allowed me to heal myself when I was taking too much damage. You learned how to fire a grappling hook into a bird's chest and keep it in place, which is quite cool. There's a bomb, which helped a lot with certain monsters. At first, it feels very weird. If you've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter games, you're used to being very dependent on putting your own trap. I suppose if you're used to putting traps down, it makes some sense. But at first, it feels a
I
bit alien.
suppose, but at the same time, remembering the combos is a bit of a pain sometimes.
Mm. It takes
Like,
a bit of
I
learning
do
how to
keep
do it.
coming back into the actual thing to sort of see, right, how did I make this one again?
Exactly. And when there was a fight which we may show later on in a future video where it's like a story beat part where you have to use Karakuri. And it's a fight where if you don't use Karakuri, you will die. And we did about probably 5 times. But once you
Oh,
start,
I know the one. So what one's the iron? Yeah.
yeah, because you have to work that fucking castle. But
hmm
spoilers there. But once you start learning the tactics, when we were like, okay, so how are we going to win this fight? Use that Karakuri. I'll use this Karakuri, and we'll do a hit and run strategy. And then once we started planning out our attack and offensive, it it added it kind of everything kind of unlocked for us when we were kind of like, oh, this makes a lot more sense. And things that were normally really hard became kind of, oh, this is becoming a lot easier. And once you embrace that and start using the Karakuri in combos with your weapons like you're supposed to, it it kind of opens up a whole new set of options for you. But it doesn't feel easy to use at first. And
Oh hell no, no, it really doesn't.
but
It
once you got
definitely
into it,
takes his getting used to.
yeah, you have to hold the L1 button down. But once you've got it, and then you know what combos you're making, it's fine. You do have to have the four, but you do have to have like a certain four set of Karakuri set up. But that again, the combinations in that are crazy. So it's getting that kind of level of adaptability, which I think is fantastic. I do think there should be more weapons, but for first, again, this is probably I have to remember trying to be impartial here. With this being a first game of its series, I think it's a spiritual successor to another series that they did in the past, the two Kaiden series, which was on like the PS3 days, and that was a that was I did have a go on that I think once or twice. It's a very Eastern kind of Monster Hunter, um, but this is like the first of its series, so you're not going to get probably a lot of weapons yet. Because if you look at Rise and World, they've had several generations of games in the past that introduced these weapons, and you were spoiled for choice.
Mm.
Whereas in this one at the moment, we have a number of weapons which do a very different things. I would have liked to have seen some more. Just still, I know I'm probably being unfair to the developers because they have with the weapons they've got currently, they are fun. But I did feel like maybe one or two more weapons wouldn't have hurt, possibly. But then again, I suppose it depends on what they could have introduced that could have been different. So,
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, the staff you can get, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that it goes into 5 different weapons, including the staff itself. However, I feel like that could have been 5 different extra weapons that they could have put in.
Okay.
I mean, the shuriken that it turns into, having that as its own sort of special ranged weapon alongside the bow and the cannon.
Yeah.
So there is other things that they could have done, but at the same time, it's like, then what would the bow staff have been? Would it have been? It wouldn't have been what it is at the moment. And don't get me wrong, it is a decent weapon. It's not my weapon of choice. Mine's the claw blades.
Yeah, I mean, I love the bow. I mean, I switched straight to bow, and the bow was a fun experience. And then I went to the gun, and you saw how excited I was. The video clip I've got of, have I got the gun now? I got a gun. Yeah. And then it was just shooting every 5 minutes. So yeah, the weapon. There's nothing wrong with weapons at all. The weapons are fun. The weapons are great. I'd have loved to have seen a bit more variety still. Again, I'm being spoiled there, saying that, and I'm holding my hands up to that. I would have liked to have seen maybe 1 or 2 more weapons in there. We never know though. With them doing extra content for free over the foreseeable future, they may.
That's what I mean. They have only said that it's going to be some variants out. They haven't specified if they're going to be coming out with any other content. All they've said there's going to be no microtransactions and free DLCs.
I mean, 8 weapons is still a fair bit. I would have liked to have seen maybe 10, but yeah, 8. I mean, again, it's a moot point. I do think the other thing that I would have liked is I like that they have the armor sets are fun, but I would have liked to have seen a few more monsters, maybe. Well, again, this is his first in the game, and that's why I'm being very cautious about saying that because it's we haven't been spoilt for we haven't been like short-handed, I guess, with monsters. We have enough monsters to fight against, and it's again there'll be more coming out. I'd have liked to have seen maybe a few more again, but again, I don't know if I'm being unfair to the game at this point.
It's where do you draw the line with it, though?
And how do you class variants as well? Because like when you have like a fire monkey and then like an ice fire monkey.
Oh no, he's still fire. He's just fire but blue.
Yeah, with like a bolt head.
He still does fire damage.
Yeah,
I think he's just a tougher version. I don't think he's he is in technicalities a variant, but.
And then you've got the mouse, and then you've got a poison mouse with like a mushroom on its face. Again, there's enough. There's a couple of variants which like kind of work. Then how many does it class as a different monster? I guess maybe. So.
I mean, as it stands at the moment, there's enough to keep me sort of occupied.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Hopefully they'll come out with more. And well, we've still got is it 5 chapters it has in total?
I haven't checked that. So for spoilers, we've avoided seeing anything in terms of how many monsters there are, what is left to fight. Currently, we're on the 4th chapter of the game. We're doing this now because we're taking our time playing the game, and I've been quite quiet with content on the channel, purely because I kind of wanted to really get into this game and make some fun content with Strife. And get back into a kind of a routine with this at the moment. This year has been crazy for games so far, with Fire Emblem Engage, which I'm playing through slowly and making videos for that to put up on here. Wild Hearts is another one which is crazy. Hogwarts Legacy, which my wife is playing through at the moment, which I'll play eventually maybe. Then next month we've got Resident Evil 4 remake. Bloody hell. So this has been a very strong start. And so they might actually have a top 10 games.
It's been a very expensive start to the year.
Oh yeah,
not gonna lie on that front.
I mean, I'm also a bit of a fanboy to Omega Force anyway, because I love playing the Dynasty Warriors games. So, I mean, visually, the levels look amazing. The locales are great. And I like how when different kimono, the monsters show up in each section, they affect and change the environment. Because there was one where we were in, I think, the third area, and it was like a canyon with a bridge that was just knocked out, and you made a zip line across. No, you made like a turbine, and we had to fly over with our flying
And
karakuri.
now it's altered, and now we can just walk across it.
Yeah, because it's got water and all the wood's been risen up and I just run across it now. So it's crazy how the environments change. And I mean that's the entire point of the story is when these kimono go rampant, they affect and change the environment. So I love that. And again, the visuals again, the characters and the people that you talk to in Minato, the home hub, look great. Um, they look pretty decent for character models. The only thing that I mentioned to you, which I think is a bit kind of unnerving, is on some occasions when I'm like watching a cutscene, there'll be a character who's like talking, and they do the same kind. They look this that kind of
They're just
blank
completely
stare.
blank, looking elsewhere.
Yeah, and again, it's very few and far between. But I mean, again, the voice acting again is very decent. The visuals look great. The armors look great. The character customization is great. And which is something I just made this morning is unlike in Monster Hunter where you have to pay. I think you get a ticket sometimes to change.
You can make a mirror that you have
Yeah,
to place down in Minato to re-edit your character.
I did that recently. I'm like, oh my god, this is great! And now I've changed my character and my character's name.
Yeah, the fact that you can change your name was pretty good.
Yeah, to Gun Bitch.
Oh, see, you changed it, so you actually changed your name again.
To Gun Bitch. No, I haven't.
Have you actually changed? That wouldn't
I don't think
surprise
you'll
me.
let me swear it, fans. I'm sure that it'd be like you can't use a swear word. I changed my character's name just because I thought I wanted to kind of experiment with it and see how it would look. I changed my look a little bit. I changed the hairstyle. I've no longer got a bit resting bitch face now, so that's fine.
Because your character really did have a resting bitch face.
Yeah, didn't look happy at all. But then again, we were being killed by a phoenix, so I had every reason to be bitch faced. But yeah, no, it's definitely has a lot going for it. Is it worth the full price that they were charging at the beginning of like 70 quid?
But we didn't pay full price.
We did not. I had a voucher.
You had
I
a
think
voucher, and it was discounted when I got it anyway.
yeah, it did go down very sharpish when after like the first day or so. I would say that if you are on a budget at this point and you want to give it a try, I would definitely say wait for it to come down a little bit, then buy it, or wait to see what the first bit of content's coming out. I would say support it if you want to. It is a fun game. I am having a good time with it. And my argument here is that I think we do need some strong rivals for Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter, and you and I play it quite a lot. But at the same token,
I've been a fanboy for Monster Hunter since the first original Monster Hunters.
I remember playing the original, but I properly started playing it.
I was never good at it. And I still hold hold a grudge to Blangongula to this day because of it.
My original one was Try on the Wii. Oh god, swimming underwater. But no, I think, and people might go, what? Strong competition with other alternatives will just always develop a franchise. And for Capcom, who have done really well with a lot of their franchises recently, I would say having that strong, healthy competition just means that they will up the ante for their own game to make sure that they stay at the top or stay like the big main one. If you look at Pokemon, for example, there's not. I mean, there are some out there, but it needs that kind of strong rival, and I think Wild Hearts could be a strong contender to rival it. Hopefully, it's doing a lot of its own thing, which I think is great at the moment. And there are a couple of things that are niggling there, but it's got a nice strong foundation, which I think is what's needed for a first game. So if they do make a sequel eventually, If they just build on that and just put more into it, I'd be like, yeah, you've got me already pre-ordering or buying the game when it comes out. That being said, there are a couple of glitches in the game. I know that there's been a few issues with I think performance on PC, on PS5 that we've been both playing it on. I've seen a couple of glitches, like with the clutch blade.
I've not really had any issues. There was that one scene of the one that we just did of the boss that we just fought, where it was like,
died.
yeah, well, your
see.
character actually your character perishes in the cutscene, but it's written badly because regardless of what gender you pick for your character, the other character that you're with just says, "Oh, is he still alive?" It's like no, you're playing
Well, no,
a woman.
Is it my character's female? So when, is she alive? Is she there? Is she okay? And then she's alive. Then he changes to a he. I'm like, what? Clearly,
Yeah, so I think the developers just
up.
missed something at that point. To be fair,
yeah. The ones that I've seen so far have been when I do the propeller flying karakuri. On occasion, I've had it where there's been no blades. I'm just kind of hovering and floating down. The clutch blade at one point, every time I pulled it out, it had the line would be out, extended with the claw. While I'm in kind of weapon pose.
Oh, I had that originally.
Mm.
I've not had that since.
Yeah.
What I have had though, what I did have on one fight where one of the things I did fight, and I felt like I must have looked like a right dickhead who didn't know how to play the weapon. My the claw part, the claw blade, was not latching to the boss. Regardless of what I did, was not latching on the boss. I could latch onto smaller targets, just not the boss. I don't know what would happen, but I'm literally sat there with an aerial weapon that relies on latching onto the boss and flying around it, just doing a little 8 square combo. I must have looked like a right twat. I just didn't know how to play his class.
And then there was the one where I couldn't load up the map for whatever reason. And then when I went to press the button, nothing would come up. And then when I died, it then reset, and then I was back to being able to do the map again. So it's nothing game breaking at all. So far on the PS5.
It's nothing that a turn off and turn on can't fix.
And then there was the one where if you go into rest mode, you've got to then close the game and reload it if you want to play online. In some cases.
Yeah, that one is a persistent one. I have had another one actually where I tried to attack and I got frozen in an attack animation with going to draw out my weapon. Couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I could load up the map, so I thought, I'll just teleport back to Minato. I teleported back and I was still frozen, and I physically could not move or anything. So I had to close down the game.
Oh gosh, not good at all. I know we've been jumping around a little bit.
They're teething issues. They're teething issues.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, again, there's nothing groundbreaking, and with any kind of game, I mean, Monster Hunter, we've had probably bugs in that sometimes. Can't think of any at the moment, but and then what else? Anything else I've loved? Minato, the home hub, looks great.
The fact that we're expanding it at the moment is nice.
I've been expanding it so much at the moment. I've literally been probably upgrading that place like at least 9 times. I've been putting all my cash into it. Actually, there's one good thing actually that's different from Monster Hunter with the armors, is that once you make a set of armor, you can then upgrade it again into a human path or kimono path. And
but you also get to keep the original piece.
Exactly. So if you want to, and it does boost up the stats of that armor, so it means it lasts longer in some cases. But each piece you can kind of customize to be kimono or human. So if there's like 4 pieces of armor, the head, chest, arms, legs, and there's 5 pieces in there. There's enough like one of each body part. You could have a mixture of both so that you can kind of keep it not too far down one path. Otherwise, like Strife, the monster will keep hunting you even when you're trying to get away from it.
Yeah, that was the gear I had on. It basically just gave me aggression from the kimono at the time. And then you were just sat there with negative aggression, just sort of like, yeah, hi.
shooting a laser into its face, doing like over grand of damage. Like, yeah, doesn't look at me and goes, "I shall hit you." Why? You just hit me for a fucking laser. Well, I'm sorry, but clearly you're the bigger threat. Because I'm just trying to get my laser again. Yeah, there's and again, each version has a different look to it as well. So in terms of customization of your character's look, that's great. And then the skills come from there. So it's a little bit different, obviously, clearly from what we're used to from having one armor set and then having the skills, and then you just take a piece from each arm and then do something with that. So it's still kind of nice and customizable with that. You can create glamour pieces or like customizational pieces from a guy next to the shop or the forge.
Still waiting to figure out how to do the transmog armor yet.
I'm
Because
hoping
there's slots for it. Yeah, there is slots for it, but it's just we haven't got it yet. So it is probably upon completion.
I've got a pig mask I can make.
I can make the pig mask. I haven't made it yet. I don't know what I want to spend that mask on.
If you can get a wolf mask, I'll make a wolf mask maybe, or phoenix mask. It's got like Batman.
I think there was a monkey. I'm on it at the moment. We should go back to Minato. I'm sure there was a monkey, a boar, and a bear. Monkey, boar, and bear so far.
Okay. But yeah, we're probably going all over the place in the talking about it at the moment because we're not scripting this whatsoever. It's kind of our impressions of it.
Do
so
we
far.
ever?
I never script it.
We have a little psych up pre-recording, and then after it's like, yeah, that's it.
But again, we'll probably do like another initial thought of Endgame when we get to the Endgame. And obviously, if you want to see us show off some more of the videos of how certain mechanics work, like the armor systems or weapons crafting, let us know on the bottom because those kind of stuff I kind of want to do as individual videos because, again, a lot of it can be spoiler, and I don't know what would define as being a spoiler for some people. Because I know that, for example, with a friend of mine who I raid with, he's still playing through Harry Potter at the moment, and I told him that my wife was playing it. Oh, don't tell me anything. I don't even know anything about Harry Potter too much. I've read maybe a couple of books, and I've never really been into them too much. But it's like if he doesn't want to know in terms of any gameplay mechanics, that kind of thing, it's more being trying to be very careful when we're talking about it. But yeah, no, I think the long gist of it is definitely worth playing. Whether you would pay the full price of like £60-70 for this at the moment, I probably would say no, even though I'm recommending to play the game. It's again, there's just too much money.
The thing is, it's the same with all games at the moment. That they are expensive at the moment.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's like we had that discussion at one point. It's like you got to pick your battles. You got to pick which ones you want. And I mean, if this is something like that, yeah. I've been playing Monster Hunter for ages. I want to do the same but different. Then yeah, by all means, go for it.
I'm already planning what to play on Resident Evil 4 remake at this point in time. In terms of budget, that comes out I think 27th or 24th of March. So it's
all right.
It's crazy because of how we have to kind of plan it out, and then with this game at the moment, I'd say yes. If you can play it, pick it up, give it a try. Then if you've never played the Monster Hunter game before, it's definitely worth playing.
Then you're on the wrong channel.
You're on the wrong channel. I mean, if you don't watch Two Blokes Hunt Monsters, oh my God, we love getting our asses kicked at this point. That being said, the multiplayer in this is actually really easy to get into.
I like it. Do you know what? In comparison to some of the other games that we've been playing recently, like Code Vein and some other multiplayer games, it works. It works really well. Where you can go into it, you see all the cutscenes and everything together. And actually, this part I did really like.
Do you know what?
You progress together. If I progressed further than you, because I had actually done with the one that kicked our ass loads of times, and we figured out how to do it with the boxes. I had actually already located the monster, which when I joined yours, you still hadn't.
Mm.
So as soon as you found it, it actually came up as a prompt on my screen that says, the host is now at the same point as you. You will now also progress.
That's great.
So it is really nice, the fact that you can progress at the game together.
It's been really easy for me to hunt monsters if I want to join a quest. I mean, yeah, compared to 4 hunters, this one only allowed to have 3 players fighting at the same time. It's got crossplay, so I've been playing with PC players, Xbox players, PlayStation players. It's been really
How often
good.
does that happen?
Well, the Xbox or the EA sort of PC players.
Just with any crossplay with PlayStation.
Do you know what? There's a couple of games you can crossplay with other people, but this is like the first one that I've had the opportunity to play with this kind of crossplay, and it's been so much fun being able to just have.
And again,
Yeah,
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is as well. That was full
when you and
crossplay.
I play together, it's been great because again, drives away with the same. I think Monster Hunter fixes a little bit. I mean, they have with Rise. You can watch it. The cutscene is put at the beginning of the fight before you even go into it as a loading screen.
Because that is bad with World.
But in the same token, it works really well. See, the only thing is, like, if do I have to be at the same story point as you? If you go ahead of me, that's the only thing. Because I know with Monster Hunter, you have to be the same hunter rank in some cases, minimum, for certain fights. So I'm intrigued by that.
No, because that's the thing. There's no ranking system in this.
So it's fun for that. It's so easy to join other people's quests. So easy to kind of play together. I've had no issue forming a party and playing together. That is just been incredible. I cannot say how easy it is. We cannot phrase how easy it is to party up, because other games in the past have made it so you have codes or that, and it's a massive faff sometimes. So this has been great just to pick up, join, pick a code if I want to lock the room out. People find my room, jump in, done, and then we're just playing.
And you're missing the one bit as well, the requesting for help. You get the requesting for help based on the area that you're in.
Yes.
Like with those little spirit gates that you've been able to pick up from one of the bosses that is in the main town. Works really well. So you can be in the main town and you can actually just go to one of these spirit gates and actually go back in time, technically, to and sort of help them out on their quests.
Yeah. And if I'm running around collecting materials and crafting and grinding in my camps, when it's in a certain zone, see up on a gate, I can look up to it, see what anyone's hunting a particular monster, jump in and help out, which has been great fun for finding more materials. Incredibly just easy to pick up. Yeah, I think we've probably, unless there's anything else you feel like has been a negative of the game so far, or any other positives about it, I think we've kind of covered.
I think we've covered most of it, to be fair.
Yeah. Like I said, if you comment below, if you like, I mean, obviously, have a look at the video that we're putting up with this video. This is probably going to go out later this week, quite quickly, because I kind of want to then start showing off other bits with it as well. If you want to see particular content like how the weapon crafting works or the armor crafting works, if you want to see us hunt more monsters like the highlight video of the fire monkey, let us know below. Literally, oh god, man, the fire monkey. Because we're more than happy to, because we do enjoy hunting monsters, and
we enjoy punishment.
I will be making some more highlights, because I think now that the game's been out, I probably will be releasing a monster a week to kind of show all the different monsters you can fight or kimono at this point. I'm in Monster Hunter mode still. But yeah, hopefully...
they're always going to be monsters regardless.
Oh god, yeah.
That's been deep-seeded from many years of Monster Hunter.
Well, yeah, no, totally for that one. If you've liked this, though, and you want to see us kind of have more thoughts of games we're playing at the moment, let us know in the comments below. Again, if you want us to have a particular topic on the Edgecast or particular guest you want on, or if you want to be a guest on, just let us know, and we'll plan it out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. at this point. Have a
I've
fantastic
got nothing
evening.
to add.
Balanced, don't die in the plane. They want some to game. Or you could, Wild Heart, sorry. Yeah, have a fantastic evening, everybody. And yeah, peace out.
Hey, though.